Hello to you and yours, and welcome to Moon Field on the campus of University of Lynchburg for this game one of a three-game series in the quarterfinal round of the ODAC softball tournament. Today we have the Quakers of Guilford College and the Hornets of University of Lynchburg. I'm Joe Hutzler, narrating our journey together today for the third time this season between these two on this same field. Back on April 21st, it was a two-game series sweep for Lynchburg. First game was tight, 8-7. Second game, not so much. A 12-2 win for Lynchburg in 5 innings. So it'll be interesting to see how this first game goes today. It is, of course, a double elimination style tournament, best of 3, meaning that if the team that loses game 1 wants to play some more, they'll have to win game 2 to force a third and decisive battle. First up for the Quakers, it'll be Kylie Richardson, senior out of Harriman, Tennessee. Richardson batting .372 this year. On the mound for Lynchburg is Emily Charlton. Charlton, a .237 ERA, 6-2 wins-loss record. As this one's chopped back to Charlton, she'll make a misstep and not be able to get that throw off before Richardson touches first. I believe that's going to go down as an error. 3 errors apiece in game 1 back on April 21st. And a really good start to that game 1 for Guilford. They had 4 hits. They had runners in scoring position in the first inning. They never scored in that first inning, and then Lynchburg bounced back with a couple runs their own in the early parts as that bunt comes right back to Charlton. This time she just gets it again, struggling to pick that ball up off the dirt, but able to get the runner out, which was the second batter, Caitlin Ray, into a sac bunt situation. And now Richardson in scoring position at second base, and we will see Allie Morales up next for Guilford. Charlton down low. Morales leads the team with a .466 batting average. She's third in the conference with that total. Batting third in the order. Again, Guilford trying to make up for their lack of runs in the first inning after bunches of hits in the first game on April 21st. 1 out, and that becomes a 2-1 count. Charlton did not pitch in that 2-game series about 2 weeks ago, and Charlton earns her first K of the day. That's going to be her 29th strikeout of the season. And it puts 2 outs on the big board with a runner still in scoring position. That is Kylie Richardson. This is Casey bunting. That ball gets away from Herman, so Richardson will move to third. And for Guilford, you've got, well, we're going to wait here for a moment. The infield wants to have a quick chat. And it's 3-2, I beg your pardon. I thought Charlton had a strikeout based on the reaction. So bunting's not up yet. It is still Morales. I apologize for that. Still trying to get our bearings together here on what will be a busy day on campus, really all weekend. Yesterday hosting the first day of the ODAC Track and Field Championships. Today it's softball and men's lacrosse tonight. And then tomorrow, more Track and Field Championships plus baseball, and tennis is playing on both days as well. And the ODAC tournament for men's and women's tennis. The women today, the men tomorrow. As Morales stays alive, a full count situation and 1 out on the board. Runner at third on the pass ball, fouled away again. Morales with only 8 RBIs, tied for second in that category on the team. On deck is Casey Bunting. She leads the team, and now there will be another RBI tallied to Morales' total with a nice grounder through the infield. Richardson comes home, and the Quakers take the early 1-0 lead. And now we'll see Casey Bunting. A big bat is on the shoulders of 25 in gray today. Bunting third in the league with 6 home runs this season. She had 1 of those 6 here against Lynchburg on April 21st. 18 RBIs, leading the Quakers in that category as Charlton delivers, and it's fouled off. So Bunting gets behind 0-2 with 1 out. And now bounces this one. There's a throw to second. Is it time? Yes, it is, to get the lead runner. Interesting that Morales did not slide. I think she would have been able to carry her momentum to the bag first before Cundiff's throw got to Haley. But she stayed upright and slowed down to not run through the bag. And it cost the Quakers their second out. And then a quick third that is thrown by Charlton to Tully. Quakers don't mess around when it comes to waiting for pitches, and that continues to be their trend. They do get 1 on the board. They lead at 1-0 after the top of the first inning. You're watching the 2021 ODAC softball tournament on LHSN. Lynchburg's turn in the batter's box. They're going to start with Lexi Powell, and the Quakers are going to send Katie McNeil to the pitching circle. McNeil, a senior out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, pitched against Lynchburg in that first game on April 21st, went the distance and held Lynchburg to 8 runs. Her team, though, not able to muster up any more than 7 to help her out. She's 6-5 this year in the wins-loss column. This will be her 16th appearance, 12th start. She has 8 complete games for the Quakers this season. Over 70 innings pitched with 61 strikeouts and a 3.18 ERA. Lexi Powell for Lynchburg, having a stellar freshman campaign. 3rd on the team in with batting average with 341. As she takes the first pitch for a strike. Powell with 23 RBIs to be 2nd on the team behind Bree Hodges, who we'll see today. And McNeil misses up top this go around. Lexi Powell, part of the Powell lineage of Lynchburg softball. Danielle, former player, now assistant coach, as Lexi swings through for strike number 2. Middle sister Cassie is on the team, pitcher for Lynchburg. Lexi having a great start. in her first year as a Hornet. Of course, probably understands the program better than any other freshman because of her sisters. McNeil delivers, and there's the first strikeout against Lynchburg. Howell does not do that too often. Just her 13th strikeout of the season for McNeil. It is number 62. And now we have number 1-2, number 12 in the box for the Hornets. The lefty Kayla Hugate in her graduate year. .393 average. This will be her 108th at bat. Thinks about the bunt, pulls it back, and takes the pitch for a strike. 1-1 count to Kayla Hugate. Veteran shortstop takes that pitch up top. And Hugate cannot keep up with that high heat. So it's a 2-2 count with 1 out. First chance for Lynchburg to provide a rebuttal to the Quakers getting on the board in the top of the first. And McNeil just missing to make it a full count situation. Hard grounder gets past first base into right field, and Kayla Hugate will give Lynchburg a burst here in the first. Carly Cundiff in the third spot for Lynchburg. First year with the program, batting .290. And gets a piece of the first pitch, sends it out of play into Lakeside Drive. Look out, truck. Hard chopper, throw to second is in time. Throw to first, no. But they do get the lead runner. Good play by the Quakers in the infield. Give the tip of the cap to Allie Morales at third base for stopping that, providing an accurate throw, and putting 2 outs on the board now. Bree Hodges, ODAC leader in RBIs, top 5 in the ODAC in RBIs with 30. She's 5th in the conference. Another first-year member for the Hornets. Takes that pitch, and it's 1-1. Hodges with a .262 average. She's in the middle of the pack in terms of her average, but making the most of teammates on base. Leading the team with 30. Here's a throw to second, and not going to catch the stealing Cundiff. That'd be Cundiff's 7th stolen base of the season. Ties her with 3 other teammates for the most SBs on the stat sheet. 2-1 count for Hodges. McNeil brings it in. And the ball stays in the catcher's glove on a swing. 2-2-2. 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 outs, and a runner at bag number 2. And nice hard shot that splits center and left field. They'll scoop it up, and it won't matter. That 31 RBIs is now on the board for Hodges. And we're tied up at 1. Nice hard shot from Bree Hodges. And better yet, good job by Cundiff stealing the second, so it made it a lot easier for her to get home on that line driver to the outfield. And a foul ball from Olivia Herman, stepping up for the first time. Herman batting .311 this year, 12 RBIs in her junior campaign. And pops this one up in the infield, caught by Morales, and we're done through one. 1-1 score, 1 run for each team, 1 hit, 1 error. It is all about number 1 as these teams try to take it 1 game at a time and advance to next week's semifinal series. Still with this one, a lot to go. And of course, a game 2 coming up after this on LHSN. So we're going to have a chat now with head coach Dennis Shores and the first base umpire on the call here. Grace Callis was hitting, and she's still standing at first, awaiting the decision. First bit of controversy in the ODAC tournament. Callis, the freshman from Creedmoor, North Carolina, going back to the dugout after being called out. Assistant coach Robert Lamb making his case for the fact that it wasn't close, but they said otherwise. So 1 out on the board and 1 strike to your first baseman today for the Quakers, Faith Fennell. Another freshman, one of 2 players from California on this roster. Kylie Duarte is also from California, and someone we might see in the second game, just as we did back on April 21st. This one chopped to Charlton, and an easy fundamental play for out number 2. And that will bring up Jessie Beck, a senior from Mocksville, North Carolina. First pitch, contact made, throw from short is good, and we are done in the top of the second. Still tied at 1 on LHSN. Ready for the bottom of the second here at Moon Field on the campus of University of Lynchburg in the quarterfinal series. Double elimination tournament, as is usual, just not usually on school campuses. Typically we're at James Moyer Sports Park in Roanoke. Actually, it's in Salem, Virginia. But because of COVID travel restrictions, we're going from location to location. And the Quakers are back here on Moon Field in just about 2 weeks' time. For the first time today, we will see Kaylee Hackett in the batter's box for Lynchburg. Batting in the 6th spot, playing left field, and taking the second pitch from McNeil for ball number 2. Hackett's first year with the program, 273 average, has 6 RBIs on 21 hits. McNeil delivers a hard shot to third. Morales is there. That's why they call it the hot corner, folks. And Morales has made some really good plays over at third base today. Playing first base today for Lynchburg is Sophie Tully, and she steps in now in the right-handed batter's box and takes the first pitch, swings at it, rolls to short, throw to first in time, and just like that, 2 quick outs for the Quakers. Sarah Allcamp, a senior from Cary, North Carolina, making that throw. Both of these teams hitting early in the pitch count of each at bat recently. First inning, Lynchburg took their time. Guilford, though, and if you watched anything from April 21st, you'll know they don't waste their time. If it's close, they're swinging. And that's why we had such a quick top half of this second inning. Here is Grace Dooley, number 8, playing in the 8th spot today, center field. One of 2 lefties in the lineup for Coach Simmons and the Hornets. And takes that pitch for strike 1. One misses well high. Dooley batting .247 this season. 21 hits and 14 RBIs. Contact in foul territory and will elude the sprinting Allcamp and Morales. Dooley, one of 8 Hornets with 10 or more RBIs this season. .40 games in their pocket, able to fulfill a full schedule, which is always nice, especially considering some of the issues that COVID-19 has presented NCAA sports. Payoff pitch is sent up to high right field, getting back on it and making the catch with the sun in her eyes was Jessie Beck. And we have finished 2 innings of play, still tied at 1-1 on LHSN. Ready for the top of the third inning here on Moon Field at University of Lynchburg. I'm Joe Hutzler. Happy to have you along for the ride on a beautiful Saturday in Central Virginia. It's a 1-1 game here. Charlton's pitch is bunted, stays in play. Here's the throw. Off the bag, though, was Haley. What a way for the batter in the ninth spot of the order, Emma Patterson, to help her team continue some momentum they gathered in the first inning, providing a tough bunt to be played by Herman and eventually using those wheels to get there, forcing the throw to be off a little bit as well by rushing. Another bunt, and here's the throw. Much cleaner this time for the Hornets, but the sac bunt works well for Richardson. So a runner in scoring position for Caitlin Ray, and sends one over the outstretched arm of Kayla Hugate into the outfield. They'll keep the runner at third, but a really quick start for the Quakers in this third inning. As I mentioned, they do not waste time. They don't try to dictate the pitch count. If it's close, they're swinging. That time it rose up high, stayed high in the zone, and Ray was able to pop it over into the outfield for her first hit of the day. First and third with one out, and Allie Morales, third in the lineup, pops one to left, and it's caught. Here comes the throw, keeping the runners at bay. Nice job by Kaylee Hackett in left field. This is turning into a game where you can't turn away for 1 second. You're going to miss something important. Definitely don't turn away now. Big bat coming to the plate for Guilford, Casey Bunting. Meanwhile, Coach Simmons wants to talk things over with her infield about this current situation. It's a first and third situation, and you've got the bat of Bunting coming up, who can make this a 2, 3, or even 4-1 score with one swing of the bat. This contest shaping up to look a little bit more like game one the first time these two teams got together. A lot of that largely due to McNeil in the circle for the Quakers. They went through everybody else in the lineup, or excuse me, in the roster for pitching in game two, except McNeil. She did not return, and the Hornets smashed everything that came their way en route to a 12-2 victory in 5 innings. It's a 1-0 delivery to Bunting, and she gets out in front of that slight change up from Charlton. Huge moment here for Charlton and the infield. Bunting held off, but probably, according to the umpire, should have come around on it. He calls it strike 2. 1-2 count. 2 outs, runners at first and third. We'll see if they send Ray. This one hit up to right field. Sprinting over is Lexi Powell, makes the grab sure-handedly for out number 3. So the Quakers threaten but are not able to bring any runs across home plate. We're still tied at 1, heading to the bottom of the third on LHSN. About ready for the bottom of the third inning here from Moon Field in Lynchburg, Virginia. Of course, not the only softball contest taking place today in the ODAC and the first day of the ODAC softball tournament. And we go over to ODAConline.com. Just as you can do, you can see that number 1 Virginia Wesleyan leads number 8 Shenandoah 5-0 in the top of the second inning. They will play at 3 o'clock today, as well as the second game of this series being played at 3 p.m. as well. As that bunt is going to work out for Lynchburg. Nice speed for Haley. First at bat, and Ashley Haley makes good on her chance, using that speed to her advantage. And for the first time so far, Lynchburg putting a runner on without any outs on the board. And Haley sprinting again, sliding in, and she is tagged out. What a throw from the catcher, Kylie Richardson. She was picked on a lot in the first series back on April 21st. Lynchburg that day had 7 stolen bases between both games. Right now, just the 1 instead of 2, thanks to Richardson's throw. And we go back to the home plate area to talk about Lexi Powell and her second at bat of this first of 2 games. Struck out in her first plate appearance. She was going for it too. A lot of her swings in that first at bat were swinging for the fences. See if she dials it back here and just looks for contact. Hard swing, chop to McNeil, throw to first. And this Quakers defense responding to McNeil's pitching, but also to what just took place a couple weeks ago on this field. Same batters. They're going to have a better idea of what is coming their way and prepares them for taking those hits. So Lynchburg's going to have to be much more efficient with where their balls go once they make contact. Kaylee Hugate trying to provide a spark with 2 outs. Ahead in the count 1-0, and had a single in the first inning. Then was thrown out on a fielder's choice play at second. Two-0 delivery. Hugate makes contact, bunts it foul. McNeil rocks the rubber, delivers 2-1. Hugate sends it opposite field down the left field line, and it's caught. Reaching out to make the grab is Grace Callis, and we are done through 3 innings. Still tied at 1 in this ODAC softball tournament on LHSN. Three innings flying by here in game 1 of this 3-game series between the Quakers and the Hornets. Next up to bat for Guilford is the pitcher, Katie McNeil, and she grounds out to second for our first quick out of what has been many so far. And you know what? It kind of goes along with the pregame too. I came down here after grabbing some more equipment, and it was about 12:30, and the two teams were already lined up on the first and third baseline ready for the anthem. And Mark Robertson, our sports information director, is like, guys, you still have 20 minutes before we need to start pregame ceremonies. Like, just hang tight for a second. What a snag from Haley. Throw is not in time, but still, you got to tip the cap on the effort to Ashley Haley. Spectacular dive for that stop, keeping it at just a single for Grace Callis. Now we get to Faith Fennell. Fennell grounded out to the pitcher in the second inning. And hits this one down the first base line. Easy catch for Tully. And out number 2 is on the board. I don't even have time to go through any notes or talk about these athletes. Just cruising along. Jesse Beck, 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to short. Charlton delivers and misses with the first pitch. Beck batting .220 coming into today. Contact, catch, and we're done. Still 1-1 on LHSN. Isn't it? Carly Cundiff up next for Lynchburg. Reached on a fielder's choice, then stole second, and eventually was batted in thanks to Bree Hodges, who's on deck. So right here is where the Hornets have scored in the lineup so far, as we are incredibly past the halfway mark, or right at the halfway mark, and we've only been playing for 35 minutes. Cundiff pops one up, got that shoulder well under the ball, and a catch is made by Callis. So as mentioned, Bree Hodges is stepping up now. Had a single in the first and then was left on the base paths. Behind in the count 0-1. McNeil puts it in there and just misses outside. And foul ball from Hodges. So it remains 1-2 on an absolutely gorgeous day in Lynchburg, Virginia. Slight breeze, 68 degrees. And Hodges sends it right to the glove that was on the ground already for Faith Fennell. She literally did not have to move her glove at all. And it becomes 2 outs for this Quakers defense. And Olivia Herman making her second plate appearance of this one. Grounded out to third base first go around, and once again turns on one and sends it that direction, but just a bit foul. Both teams scoring in the first inning, and both have threatened since then. Guilford with the biggest threat, but as you can see, neither able to add more to their score. So as each inning flies by, as it has so far, every pitch, every swing, contact made is much more important than the last. As once again, Herman fouling it off, making contact on all 3 pitches, but not able to straighten any of them out. So it's an 0-2 count with 2 outs and nobody on. First of 2 games guaranteed, with a potential third tomorrow afternoon. This time Herman does straighten it out, and it's caught up top. Meeting it at its highest point was All Camp, and that means we have finished 4 innings of play here in University of Lynchburg. Back with the Quakers at the plate next. Four innings complete in this one, as the Quakers begin with a foul tip on a bunt attempt from Miss Patterson. Emma Patterson, that is, the freshman out of Mocksville, North Carolina, reached first on a bunt. I just mentioned in the last half inning about the Quakers having the biggest threat since that first inning, and she was the beginning of that threat in the third inning when she eventually got around to third, but the Quakers were not able to bring her in. Now a count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. And our first K of the day officially for Emily Charlton. I made that claim in the first inning and was clearly not ready for the day yet on my end. Got that wrong. But this one is a strikeout. And this is also Kylie Richardson, who takes the first pitch to right field. Lexi Powell with a routine fly ball play. And 2 quick outs in the top of the 5th inning. Next up, Caitlin Ray. Quakers 0 for 4 so far with 2 outs. And they'll be 0 for 5 with that quick line driver to Sophie Tully. Bottom of the 5th, next. Bottom of the 5th inning. And Lynchburg starting with Kaylee Hackett at the plate. 0 for 1 so far today. Nobody from either team has batted more than twice at this juncture. McNeil delivers, and Hackett swinging through for strike 2. And McNeil trying to get Hackett the chase, does not. So far, McNeil with 4 innings pitched, 2 hits given up, 1 run that was not earned, and 1 strikeout. Watch out, bench. That one headed near the Lynchburg dugout as Hackett tries to stay alive here. Tully and Dooley on deck and in the hole. 1-1 score. Quakers with 4 hits, Lynchburg with 2, and another strikeout for McNeil. This time it's Kaylee Hackett that goes down swinging. Sophie Tully's turn. Tully grounded out to short in her first at bat. Behind in the count 0-1 with 1 out. And each team trying to find that spark they had in the early goings of this contest. Foul ball makes it 0-2. RBI single from Allie Morales gave the Quakers a 1-0 lead in the top of the first. And an RBI single from Bree Hodges tied it up in the bottom of the first. Since then, all zeros across the board. Still a 0 in the balls part of this count for Tully as it remains 0-2, so she'll be swinging at anything close. McNeil puts it on the outside corner, but just missing. Again, trying to get Tully to swing at it. That one low in the dirt. And just like that, count is even. Tully trying to straighten this one out. And what is the third time these two programs have met in the ODAC tournament since 2003. Tully does straighten it out, but it's still foul. Great contact for 25 in red. Remains a 2-2 count. Lynchburg is 2-0 in those previous ODAC tournament neutral site contests. This is the first time they've met in the month of May. Happy May, everyone, in case you didn't know. Today is May 1st, so starting a new month. The last month of school. And for some of the ODAC institutions, graduation day. We know Bridgewater College is graduating today. They've been out of school for about 2 weeks, which I think is great. These students have been through enough and should have been done a while ago. Full count pitch. Grounder stays foul, and Tully stays alive. It's about 10 pitches faced now in this at bat. Her second. It might be her last if the game continues to go this quick. So making the most of it, and it's picked up at second. Throw to first. A long time to get to that point, but ready for it was Ray. And we've got 2 outs on the board now. Grace Dooley up next. Dooley flew out to right field in her first at bat. Not too much of a stretch to think that, considering she is a lefty. So easier to pull it than to push it to left field. Right now just trying to get on and provide a rally here with 2 outs. Another pop-up that's out of play. Over the backstop, which will, in a couple years' time, be brand new with seating and a new press box. Dugouts that are entrenched in the ground, much like Virginia Wesleyan's layout and many other professional leagues and Division I programs. Dooley laid off. Wise move. So it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Dooley at the plate. Ashley Haley on deck, wanting to get up there before the end of this inning. McNeil wants to get out, and her defense will help her out. Fennell makes the stop, touches the bag. We're done in the 5th inning. Still tied at 1. 2 innings left in regulation. Stick around. Emily Charlton still in the pitching circle for Lynchburg. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits given up, 1 run that was not earned, and 1 strikeout. Hitting next for the Quakers will be Allie Morales, batting 3rd in the lineup. Morales looking at her 3rd at bat of the game. RBI single in the 1st, flew out to left field in the 3rd inning. Someone's pupper is not happy. Morales fouling that one away, trying to do her best to make sure her teammates are happy. Looking to respond to a 2-game sweep back on April 21st for the Hornets. Bouncer to Hugate, and a routine play for that veteran in the 6th spot. 1 out. Casey Bunting's turn, a junior from Elm City, North Carolina. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st and flew out to right field in the 3rd. Takes the first pitch, pops it up deep to left. It's going to be shading over and making the grab for Grace Dooley. Hackett was there for backup, didn't need it. And 2 quick outs in the 6th. Katie McNeil, the opposing pitcher to Charlton, 0 for 2 at the plate and gets behind in the count 0-1. Grounded out to the pitcher in the 1st and then also grounded out to second base in the 4th. Leans in, lets it drop, and evens the count. Game 2 expected to start at 3 p.m. Knowing how quickly these teams wanted to start this first game, if this one ends anytime before 2:30, just hang close to your computer screens in that Game 2 link, because I think we're probably going to start before 3 o'clock. Just a hunch. Usually we're not starting on time, but we are ahead of schedule at 1:53 in the afternoon on the East Coast. A 1-1 game in the first game of the ODAC tournament here in 2021. Charlton to McNeil, swings through. Here's the throw. 3 up, 3 down. The Hornets looking to add a run here in the bottom of the 6th on LHSN. Ready for the bottom of the 6th here at Moon Field. I'm Joe Hutzler, hoping that you are enjoying today's contest and hoping that you haven't had a whole lot to do because you missed a lot, potentially, how quickly this game has gone by. We started at 1 o'clock, and it's not even 2 p.m., and we're already at the 6th inning, bottom half of the 6th inning, and we're at the bottom of the order for the Hornets. Ashley Haley, second at bat of the game. She bunted her way to first in the 3rd inning and then was thrown out on an excellent throw from Kylie Richardson behind the plate. 2-0 delivery, bunted again, down to Fennell. Here's the throw, not in time. Ashley Haley coming up big in the field. She had a really great defensive play that didn't get the out, but it saved the Quakers' ability to move to second. And at the plate today, her bunting has been on point, and it puts her in a good position. The leading run now at first with no outs in the top of the order for the Hornets. Lexi Powell takes the first pitch, bunts it down, and she's safe as well. How about the speed from Lynchburg? Flexing hard here late in game one. Runners at first and second, and nobody out with Kayla Hugate stepping up next. By far the most adversity Guilford has faced since giving up a run in the first. More pressure now, of course, as McNeil pitches down and misses for ball one. Hugate 1 for 2 this afternoon, a single in the first, and flew out to left field in the fourth inning. Throws down another bunt. This time goes down the third base line, and the throw is off the mark. Here comes the run home. Haley will come across home plate, and the Hornets take the lead in the sixth. Stick around for game two for more reasons than one, but one being the fact that we're going to have replay in game two. So we'd be able to show you that again as a mini Dust Devil picks up around home field. Nothing like what we had in March of 2016, which made Scott Van Pelt's one big thing, or actually the best thing I saw today actually was his segment on SportsCenter. It's a 2-1 game. Lynchburg scoring in the first, and now here in the sixth, all of this coming with one out, and you gotta look at Ashley Haley's effort at the plate. Bottom of the order, she's number 9. It's looked down upon, but it can be, especially when the game is like this and there's nobody out when you step up, you can be the catalyst for the top of the order, and she was. Bunting her way to first, Lexi Powell bunting her way to first, pushing Haley to second, and then a bad play, second error of the day for the Quakers, puts Hugate at first, sends Powell around to third, and brings Haley home. Nobody out, third in the order. Hugate well down the line, and Richardson will let her steal second base. Don't want to risk a bad throw and allow an easy run to come home from third. But now you've got 2 runners in scoring position. Cundiff, knowing it, swings hard at a high heater, but not able to keep up with it. So it's a 1-1 count. 2 runners on, nobody out. Carly Cundiff scoring the first run of the game today for the Hornets. Reached on a fielder's choice, then a stolen base, got her to second before Bree Hodges brought her in. She also flew out to left field in the fourth. She hits it long enough. Perhaps Powell can tag. She's got the speed to do so. But the pitch is going to have to be closer than that from McNeil for Cundiff to even think about swinging. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners on, both in scoring position for the Hornets, trying to open this thing up late in regulation. And take the first game of the 3-game series. Only one other game in action in this tournament. Virginia Wesleyan leading Shenandoah. And Cundiff pops one into shallow center. 1 run will come home. RBI single for Carly Cundiff, and a 2-run advantage for the Hornets. And now the team leader in RBIs will step up. Bree Hodges with a runner at first and third. And still no one out for this Quakers defense. Cundiff going to pick up her second stolen base of the day. This one much less entertaining. Two runners in scoring position, nobody out. 0-1 pitch, Hodges takes it, and it's 0-2. And that one just misses the zone for McNeil, who has had a really stellar day until this moment. She'd only given up 1 run. It wasn't earned, but less than 5 hits as well. But has given up 3 hits and 2 runs in this 6th inning. Desperately needs some help from her defense if contact is made by Hodges. A lot of power in that swing for 26 in red. And she shows it off. A hard shot to right field. The runner will tag. Hugate coming home and will be safe on the sac fly. First out, but it does score a run for the Hornets. And they are well in command here in the 6th inning. And this is crucial for the next game, too. This momentum will certainly be able to carry. You only have to spend 30 minutes between games to cool down, get warmed back up, get ready. So 30 minutes is not a lot of time for all of this momentum to go away. Lynchburg did that in the first series. They won 8-7 and then came out and just put a whooping on the Quakers in game number 2 en route to a 12-2 victory through 5 innings. So we might be seeing a little bit of deja vu here for the Quakers, especially if they don't pitch McNeil again in the circle. Meanwhile, stepping in, we have a change for Lynchburg. It is not Olivia Herman. It is number 9, Caroline Joy. First at bat of the day for Joy. They say she did not go around, so it's a 1-1 count. Joy in her 63rd at bat of the season has 5 hits and 13 RBIs. Pops this one up and out. And a 1-2 count with 1 out and a runner in scoring position. That is Carly Cundiff. Once again, Joy thinking about the high heat, but left it up there. And it's a 2-2 count. This time waits on it. Slow roller to third. Throw is in time. Cundiff goes to third and puts herself 60 feet away with 2 outs on the board. And I believe another newcomer. No, it is Hackett. So, well, it was Hackett. As I was saying that, Coach Simmons came over to talk to Kaylee Hackett and said, I'm going to make a change. And the change is going to be number 3, Addison Walter for Lynchburg. This will be her 50th at bat of the season in this long campaign for her. 6 RBIs. A chance for a 7th is just 60 feet away from her at third. That's Carly Cundiff, who is responsible for 1 of the 3 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. Walter swings through the first. It was 1-1 to start the 6th. Guilford had out-hit Lynchburg 4-2. Now it's 4-1, and Lynchburg out-hitting the Quakers 5-4. Guilford also picking up a throwing error in this half inning. And so giving up 3 runs, but still within 3 of their own. They've got the hitting power to do it. Can they capitalize on their moments with runners in scoring position? Can they even get to that point? All those answers and more when we come back. Last chance for the Quakers, down by 3, top of the 7th inning. The Hornets looking to get out of here with a Game 1 victory in this best-of-3 series. Looking to earn their trip to the semifinal series coming up middle of the week. Hornets are the 3 seed. If things go chalk with the 1 and the 2 seed winning, of course, Lynchburg would have to travel to that 2nd seed of the ODAC tournament, which is Emory and Henry, a place that was not kind to Lynchburg last weekend in the final series of the season. That contact rolls foul for Grace Callis. Guilford trying to avoid losing 3 straight to Lynchburg all this season. That foul ball going foul. Excuse me, that ball going foul. Obviously it went foul, Joe. It's foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Callis 1 for 2 today with a single in the 4th. Needing to get on and provide a spark. Charlton goes for the riser. And Callis says, I've seen that since I was like 8 years old. No problem. I'll let that go. Makes contact on this one, and it pops over the bag. They call it foul. That's a tight play to make. But the first base umpire had the best look at it. Perhaps we did too, with that new camera angle today. This time it's in play. Nice snag from Cundiff, and kind of wisely makes the decision to just hold off. If she rushes that throw, it might get away from Tully and might put Callis at 2nd. Instead, it's just a single, but it is a big one for the Quakers with nobody out. That's exactly what they needed. Put somebody on, provide a spark for the rest of your teammates, and see what they can do. We do have a pinch hitter in the place of Faith Fennell. It's going to be Abby Hill, sophomore from Lexington, North Carolina. Great place for barbecue. Always had that barbecue festival in the fall. Absolutely loved it. My days as a Panther of High Point University. Straightens this one out. Haley with the tag, throw to first in time. What a double play for the Hornets. Ashley Haley has had a stellar afternoon here at Moon Field, and she continues it with one of the biggest defensive plays that you'll see all day long, making it a 2-out game, nobody on. Last chance for the Quakers here in Game 1. What a play. I believe this is Amanda Gillis. I can't see from my standpoint what her number is. I think it's 24. Pinch hitting for the Quakers. In a really tough spot, your first at bat of the day. Your team's down by 3, and you no longer have run support on the bags. 2 outs. And Charlton answers with her second. Make it first strike of the at-bat, 3-1. And swinging through that change was Gillis for strike 2. Full count, 2 outs. Lynchburg up by 3. In control of game number 1. Gillis pops it up, shallow center field, sprinting in is Dooley, and that'll do it. Lynchburg took their time, but in the end, they take care of business as the 3 seed over the 6. 4-1 is the final here in game number 1. We have, of course, game 2 coming. As I mentioned before, just hang tight close to that second link because we imagine this game will start early. It's 2:12 right now. They usually take 30 minutes in between games, so looking at about 2:45 start perhaps for the next game. So we may be starting early there. So keep that in mind if you want to check out game number 2. Game number 1, Lynchburg wins it by a score of 4-1, each team with 5 hits apiece. Certainly Lynchburg getting it done on the base path, but I am so impressed with Ashley Haley's play in the field and at the plate. A couple huge bunts for Lynchburg. She started that spark in the 6th inning that led them to those 3 runs. Excellent day so far for number 2 in red, and we're looking forward to more entertaining action in game 2 of this 3-game series coming up next in about 30 minutes on LHSN.